I don't know if my microphone is on. Okay, so it is. So this is just like a revision video. I will do a proper video on how to read a chart and how to go about it. I will also add reading materials for you people on Google Drive or something and share the link so that it's easy to go for to read about it. You can also refer to my website and my blog, in which you will have additional supplement reading so that things become clearer. And if you have doubts, you can obviously mail me. I will also provide my mail ID. But let us let us keep things simple. Okay, let us first do the revision of till now what we have learned. If you see the playlist description, I've already mentioned the 7 modules we have covered, and sometimes, for example, in module 3 we have 2 modules within the same same module. We have multiple videos. So let us go simple. Okay, let us go for module number 1, which is nothing but the 7 planets. Okay, the 7 planets. I love this. Okay, this is the foundation. You need to know what from it. What is explained here? Exaltation, debilitation. Okay, in which planet is exalted and debilitated. Okay, so these two things are shown in this video. Then the significators of it, I'll make sure it's also in PDF, but you should know what it means. Okay, if let's say I'm saying Jupiter, so you should immediately, it should click. Okay, it's, even I know I have said that Jupiter signifies many things in life, but at least the basics you should remember. Okay, it's wisdom, it's guru, it's a positive benefit of the chart, a natural benefit. What all it significates? It is a significator of husband for women. For men, it's guru. It's in general the original Kalpurush house for 9th and 12th. So it's also so you just signify, and then you see the dignity of a planet. Simple, you know? Exalted or debilitated. Simple like that. Then we have the 27 nakshatras. Okay, nakshatras. One thing that I forgot to mention were the 12 zodiacs, which should have been out within the 1-2 videos, but I will anyway mention this in my reading material so that you also remember the name of all the zodiacs and who are their owners. Okay, so the 27 nakshatras, in general, every planet sits in a nakshatra at any given point of time, but we do the analysis of this nakshatra thingy with respect to moon. Okay, this is with respect to moon. Simple. Okay, let's keep it simple. So, and then and of course I have not mentioned special nakshatras like Gandanta and all, but I might mention them in my single read PDF in the reading material also for other significators. If you want to go in depth, you can also check my blog, in which you can drop down and see more keywords for each nakshatra. Sadly, you cannot copy it because I have disabled right click. Okay, and not only does the 27 nakshatra explain about each nakshatra, the concept of nakshatra, how they work, right? Because you have 12 zodiac, okay, divided into 27 nakshatras. Okay, this is very important. And this module 2, you might see, but why do I need to know about nakshatra? I can do basic prediction just based on the zodiac, right? That's because this module 2, M2, will be very relevant for M6. So we'll come to that. Then let us go to module 3. It has 2 parts. The first part is all about it's all about, as you know, it's all about first how to read a chart. That's the most important thing. How to read a chart. Okay, this is very important. And in this I have given 2 types of charts. One is of course North Indian one. Okay, one is of course the South Indian one. Okay, so 12 boxes each. 12 boxes each. And then this here has fixed houses, moving signs. Okay, just to remember, it's like a cheat code. And here you have fixed signs but moving houses, or moving lagna rather. I like to call it moving lagna or house. Okay, perfect. And what this means, see, I'm not going to explain in the video, this is just a reference. See, and this always goes anti-clockwise and this always goes clockwise. Simple, done, that's all. And how it actually works, the breakdown and everything, if suppose you forget, just see the revision video. Everything will anyway be covered in 90 minutes, so it's not a very difficult thing to see. How to read a chart is very important. And then the difference, the second part which is important, is about your D1 versus Bhava. D1 is nothing but Rashi chart, okay? D1 is Rashi, in case you don't know that. And what it signifies. Now, I'll also give an example so that it's a bit more clearer here. So, let us see an example of right now. Okay, it's 12:07 a.m. But I don't want to do that. So, let us consider for 20th May. Okay, when I'm screen recording this, 20th May, 2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. Right, 2 a.m. What do we have here? Okay, what do we have here? We have an Aquarius Lagna. Okay, Aquarius Lagna, 12:01 anti-clockwise, right? I'm just using North Indian because I'm used to it. But you can use as per as your family traditions and how it suits you. So Mars is at 6 degree Aries. Ooh, nice. Okay. Why is it nice? Transit, sign, don't forget all the basics, please. Okay. Now, I want you to see the Bhava cusp. Okay. Bhava cusp right now for 2 a.m. is 27 degree. Okay. 27 degree is the ascendant degree. This is not your starting point, by the way. Okay. This is your cusp. So by default, Bhava has a mechanism plus minus 15 degree mod 30. What it means, I will show you. Let us add 27. Okay. So 27 plus 15 mod 30. Okay. So that is 12 degree. Okay. 42 degree minus 30. Okay. This will give you the absolute difference and the absolute value. I'm just using mod for simplicity. So you get 12 degree. So how it is, the first house is what then? Just tell me this. Why am I putting this in revision videos? Because if in case you miss from the example, I want to give you, sort of because the rest of the stuff you can just revise, read, understand and all. But this is important. It's a mathematical example. So first house starts from 12 degree Capricorn. Okay, its middle point is 27 degree Aquarius. Okay, and it ends at 12 degree Pisces. Okay, same way second house will be what? It will start at 12 degree Pisces. Okay, let's take it 12.1 for the maths geek, because they'll be like, how? Because it's overlapping, but it's tough to visualize that concept. So just take it as 12, and then 27 degree what do you call 27 degree so it starts at and then 27 degree Pisces is its middle point, and then 12 degree Aries is its this thing. Now you tell me, Mars 6th house in the D1 or the Rashi, where only Rashi is displayed, is technically correct. Okay, but it's in the incorrect. Why? Because it's in the third house. Okay, but technically which house should it come under? Second. So in D1 we will see the MA moves from third to second. This is all the concept it's all about. Depending on the degrees, either it will go to the next house or the previous house. Okay, this is the part 1 and the part 2, how to read a chart. Remember, anti-clockwise, clockwise, which each house means. This is always the ascendant. Okay, in North Indian chart, ascendant is always this particular part of the diamond, and in South Indian chart, as a practice, they put double dash on top of the house, or they write AS wherever they're starting the first house. Okay, as an astrologer, you should at least know how to read both. You can practice in either one, but you need to know how to read if someone gives it to you. Of course, if I read a South Indian chart, it might take me a couple of minutes more compared to North Indian because I'm used to North Indian chart, but I'll be able to understand it. So the point is, you should be able to understand both if given to you, right? It's like you need to learn the thing even if you're not using it daily. Then module 4, one of my favorite is Navamsha, if you remember what has been taught here. So Navamsha, also known as D9, technically is all about marriage. Yes, so mainly it's used for marriage in commercial astrology, but it's also one of my most favorite terms. I use it called the becoming destiny. Okay, it's very important. And why is it important? Because at a divisional level, it will tell you the true dignity of many of your planets. And for Vimpoksha and Shadbala, both Navamsha calculations are taken into consideration. So they're not just for simply saying. For example, let's say someone's, just to give you an example, I know it's revision, but still I love giving an example. So, my bad. Let us assume someone's D1 7th lord is in 4th house exalted. Okay, I know this all will be very tough for you to right now follow. I will teach you how to read it, but this is a very D1 slash Bhava. Okay, in both, assuming they both don't change, assuming both are equal for some people. Okay, tell me in which condition will Bhava be equal to Rashi? This is a very good point, by the way. Bhava equal to D1 when? Question mark. When AS degree is equal to 14 to 16 degrees के बीच में, that's when it will be perfect alignment. It will be equal. Okay, so this is just like a point which I wanted to add. So assuming that the degrees are equal and the 7th lord is in the 4th house only, okay, and it's exalted somehow, just assume now for me, assume that it's like that, or rather in 10th house, even better 10th house. We will take the example of Sagittarius Lagna. Okay, so the 7th lord, which is Gemini, which is Mercury, will be exalted in its own sign in Virgo. Okay, but in D9, the 7th lord, and we are checking the 7th lord D9. Okay, and I'm assuming the D1 and D9 are also same. Very rare for that to happen, but it is possible. That again depends on degree. There's a whole mathematical calculation on it, but for now just assume that is the case. Then what will happen is, what if the same thing is now debilitated? Now 7th lord in 4th house is debilitated. What does this signify? This signifies that something that was looking so promising is not so good actually, hai na? Sometimes you look at an investment, you think, oh, it's so promising, but then you see the real deal. And vice versa is also true. For starting few years or even a decade can be tough, and then things can get much better. So again, life is a marathon, not a sprint. So Navamsha is one of my favorite topics and deep to my heart, because I'm more into marriage and childbirth astrology, and also sexuality, and basically my topic is relationships, honestly. Okay, so now this comes to Arudha Lagna. This is important also. Here there are many types. Okay, I will also give it in reading material, as well as mostly it will be covered in video, but the major part is so you have Arudha, you have Upapada, you have Indu Lagna, you have many actually, so on and so forth. You have like 5 or 6 which are prominently used. But Arudha Lagna is basically the social image, right? How you're portrayed to the world, and the dignity of that is seen in Arudha Lagna. Very important for public profile charts. But I will just be covering basics of it. Upapada, I have just mentioned the names probably in the video. I'll not go into deep, because these come under advanced astrology. I can probably cover it in a live session and all, and it takes a lot of time. It cannot be covered in a 10-minute or a 15-minute or a 7-8 minute video. So it's just to explain the concept, right? Then Dasha and timing. Yes, this is central. Yes, Dasha and timing, the sixth one. Here, the timing which I'm referring to is the birth, time of birth, which will in turn give you your nakshatra ka degree. Okay, degree, and this degree will then determine the dasha you are born into. For example, I am Purva Bhadrapada. So I was ruled by Jupiter Lord. So my first dasha was Jupiter. Then I went through Saturn. I know, right? I'm going to make a video on these dashas also. And then I will go to, very soon, I'm transiting into Mercury Mahadasha. So this is like a lineage. Okay, so everyone follows this 120 year Vimshotri Dasha period. And Vimshotri Dasha in itself, which I will be explaining in the video also, is very central, and it's almost 50% of the weightage. If I tell you astrology, if I had to divide, at least 40 to 50% will be Dasha, 40% to 50% is Dasha, okay, and 60 to 50% is your charts, okay. For this to give you result, okay, it is dependent on Dasha. Simple, okay. Maybe on a live video or on a one-to-one session I can explain it better, but since it's already, as you know, quite long, so I'll not go into that. And finally, to end everything, since I love compatibility astrology, and yes, one more thing before I complete the revision of Dasha timing, I told you that the M2 relation, which I told you, right, why you need to know nakshatra. When I say I am Purva Bhadrapada, right, Purva Bhadra, I'll just write the Bhadra. This, you know, represents to Jupiter Lord. Okay, Jupiter Lord. So my first dasha at birth should have been Jupiter with some balance, whatever balance would have been. So this is something that helps. The M2 module helps the M6 module, because everything is interconnected. You cannot just learn things in parts. Otherwise, it won't be correct. And then finally, one of my favorite is the compatibility test. Ooh, this is a nice one. Compatibility test, since it's close to my heart, I'll just tell you is like you are the HR screening, okay? HR screening for job. So the first stage, as I've also explained in the video, is Gun Milan. It's Ashtakut Gun Milan, which is of 36 points. Everyone has their own systems and their own Gun Milan. I will post the one which I use from my own software, which is also referenced from a classic way into the reading material, but it's out of 36. Remember, 18 lesser than or equal. Equal also, I'm not a big fan. I want it to be more, but less than 18 is reject, okay? By the classic definition, greater than 18 is pass. So this is resume screening, okay? Resume, this is, you can take it. I am very sorry for my horrible handwriting. Please don't blame me. Half of the reason is a bad pen. I will get a good pen for my other live sessions also, don't worry. Then second after Gun Milan is your Manglik check, okay? Manglik check, okay. Now what do you do here? My handwriting in real life is at least better than this, but please, please bear with me. Manglik check, it's like a blood test to see whether compatible or not. Simple, like just for you to remember it. Blood test compatibility. Okay, compatibility. Okay, you don't want a positive and a negative. Okay, it's like B positive, B negative. They cannot donate blood to each other. Okay, so this is like Manglik dosh check. Then if I'm not wrong, I've mentioned the third would have been because I'm pre-recording this video, so I'm just, checking what all has been given. Manglik, Gun Milan, and I'm so sorry, this handwriting might not be that good, so people may not understand it. Let me write it properly only. At least legible, even if it's not good. Gun Milan, okay? This is an N, okay? This looks like an M, but it's actually an N. I'm so sorry, my pen has an issue. And then you have Manglik check, you have Gunmilan, you have what do you call okay, Dasha Sandhi I might have given at the end. Okay, deep dive. I would have given deep dive if I'm not wrong. Deep dive, I call this deep dive technical round. Okay, technical round. Okay, basically they test whether you actually know your stuff or not, right, in a job interview. And then finally, Dasha Sandhi. This is something to check whether you are currently okay to get married or into good relationships. This is more like an HR round, right? That even if you're very good technically, is the time right? It's something like that. And then that's pretty much it. I think in the video I will give more details for the compatibility thing, but this basically covers our whole revision. Okay. So